All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai. Double honors to the apostle elders, the great millstone, who rule well. And salutations to all you brothers out there pushing this word in love, truth, sincerity, and humility. Once again, it's the brother Shatia from the Chicago camp, coming back to you with what I hope is another quick and edifying sit down. And as we all know, all right, Spirit Airlines has gone out of business, just like that. All right, clear indicator of the signs of the times that we're living in as far as the economic prosperity and power of the United States. So we're gonna let this video play and we'll get some scripture.
I officially lost my job. I have officially lost my job.
17,000 employees have been laid off immediately due to Spirit Airlines closing, shutting down. Skyrocketing fuel prices certainly did not help. This is the worst time for layoffs because we have zero job creation and zero job growth. Also have the highest gas prices we have had in 4 years. We have skyrocketing grocery prices, household items, toiletries, rent. And by the way, companies are not hiring. They're not hiring and people are not moving jobs. This is the worst time to be laid off. Sympathies go out to those today, Spirit Airlines, and it's just a bad time for layoffs, guys.
I officially...
Yeah, anytime's a bad time for layoffs. But yeah, and the thing is, I saw a video that said, Spirit, I guess in its later years wasn't really doing so well, and they had, I guess, filed for bankruptcy before the shutdown, either once or twice. But nonetheless, what's done is done. All right, the Spirit is done. All right, 17,000 employees just like that are done. I saw a video where there was a flight attendant talking to all the people on the plane, and the man was getting choked up. You can hear him about to break down. He kept his composure, but he was just like, damn, I've worked here for 10 years and it's gone. Just like that. It's gone. Like I said, 17,000 jobs. That's 17,000 families that are about to be in financial straits, because how else is a person supposed to make a living if he doesn't work? As the scripture says, Second Thessalonians 3:4. For even when we were with you, this we commanded you, that if any would not work, neither should he eat. Because how is a man supposed to eat if he doesn't have work, a means to earn an income to provide for his family? Because the scripture clearly tells us that I'm going to get both of them. I'm going to get both of them. Ecclesiasticus 29, it says the chief thing for life is water and bread and clothing and a house to cover shame. Okay? And we're going to get the other one. I think it's in Proverbs. No, it's also in Ecclesiastes. Ecclesiastes 39 and 26. The principal things for the whole use of man's life are water, fire, iron, and salt, flour of wheat, honey, milk, and the blood of the grape, and the oil, and clothing. All right. All these things are necessary for life. But the thing is, in this life, these things cost money. And how do people earn money? By having a business, or most people, they have a job. And now you have 17,000 people who no longer have a job. This is 17,000 people who now will not be able to support their families. And see, this is the time that we're living in where, as the lady said, this is not a good time to be laid off or fired from any job, because there is no job creation. Like, there are no jobs, new jobs coming in to stimulate the economy. And that's in Ecclesiastes. What's that, 12? I'm going to start at 12 and 1. And it says, remember now the Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. Right. Remember the Lord in your youth. Not when it's, I don't think that's not any use to me, you know. It says, while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return after the rain. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, all these workers, and the grinders cease, because they are few. All right. 17,000 employees. Done. Just like that. And they're in fear. It says, the keepers of the house shall tremble. All right. These folks are scared because now the future is uncertain. They don't know if they'll be able to get another job. These folks don't know if they'll be able to say, you know what? Hey, United, Delta, Virgin, Frontier, whatever airlines it may be, you know, hey, will you guys pick me up? I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people that may try to do that route and seek employment with other airline carriers. But the thing is, how many airline carriers do you think would be able to absorb that impact of 17,000 people now looking for employment? Some may get in, but then some may not. It says, because they are few, and those that look out of the windows be darkened. All right, no hope. And the door shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of the music shall be brought low. Right. Because this is not only going to happen to Spirit, I guarantee you, it's going to happen to other airline carriers as well. All right. The doors of Spirit Airlines are permanently shut, never to reopen again. And now you have these folks who are going to have to wake up in the morning and get back on the grind and see if they can find something. As I said before, I'm sure a lot of these people are going to see if they can get picked up by another airline carrier. You know, I guarantee you those folks walked home with no pep in their step. Remember that old song, Whistle While You Work? Hey, there's not any happiness with these folks. They're like, hey, man, I done dedicated 10, 20-something years to this company, sacrificing time for myself, sacrificing time for my family to make sure I can maybe put a little bit more money on the table to do things. And then just like that, the company said, we done. We don't need you. And I heard they're not even honoring their points. They're not honoring anything. All right, folks are just stranded everywhere. Verse 5, it says, also they shall be afraid of that which is high, and fear shall be in the way, and the almond tree shall flourish, and the grasshopper shall be a burden, and desire shall fail, because man goeth to his long home, and the mourners go about the streets. All right, the future is going to be uncertain for these people. And as the woman said, with it being no job growth, that doesn't stimulate the most confidence in people who just lost their job. And we all know, as the scripture says, where there is no hope. I mean, where there is no hope, the people perish. I think that's what it is in Proverbs. Oh, no, it's where there is no vision. I think it's where there is no vision, the people perish. Yep, Proverbs 29 and 18. It says, where there is no vision, the people perish. Right. See, these folks don't see a way that their situation could possibly get better or bounce back. Because I'm sure even they know, out of 17,000 people, maybe less than half of those will be reabsorbed into the other airline carriers, and the rest is just going to be out of luck. So you're talking about being out of luck and not being able to get another job in an economy where everybody's suffering. That just kills all confidence. But the scripture says, but he that keepeth the law, happy is he. You see, yeah, the scripture tells us, hey, we got to render to Caesar's what is Caesar's. But at the same time, we should know that, hey, you shouldn't have too much faith in Babylon the snake, because this is the place where the Lord has predestined to have a great judgment. This is the place where all the things that we know are going to come to an end, just like Spirit Airlines came to an end. And like I said, there's going to be other ones that are going to come to an end as well. You know, we just have to stay tuned and see what happens. But that's all I wanted to say on this. I hope you all were edified. To the next time, we're going to say Shalom.